In this video I'm gonna give you a very simple tip, but it's also very important at the same time. It is for beginners and it's about sketching. I saw many of beginner sketches and I thought it might be a good idea to do this video because also when I was a student I heard about it and I thought it was like a rule that I have to follow every time, but when I became a professional designer I realized everything is about pushing boundaries. Design is creative, so don't feel like this is a rule that you have to follow every single time when you are sketching. But as a beginner, it is a very helpful tip. I'm sure it will help you to level up your sketches. So keep in mind while sketching to create, it's more about creating like a holistic approach for the car design, for your designs, for your sketches. So let's jump into paper and I'm gonna show it while sketching. So basically what I wanna talk about is connecting the lines with each other, making a relationship between the lines. For example, let me show you this sketch. Here what you see is, it's not a bad sketch by the way, don't get me wrong. I think the proportions are nice for a sedan coupe type of car. But as you see, all the lines are going somewhere else. For example, we have a line in this middle. It doesn't connect anything on the front, doesn't connect anything on the back. I mean, always connecting to this one actually, but it's kind of like a automatic thing I did. Or if you see like this line is going up and even this actually kind of connecting. So this is the thing what I mean by connecting lines. But there are also many lines which don't have any type of relationship with each other, and it's very tricky. Because if you look at some of the cars, you will see that a line from the back can somehow connect something on the middle section and then maybe disappears, maybe comes back, but there's always a relationship in between. For example, in this sketch, I have this line from the rear bumper continuously going to the side of the car to become a highlight catcher, and then here we have a twist. It's turning upwards and it kind of connects to the headlight. It's kind of maybe exaggeration, like you don't have to make all the lines connected all the time to each other, but it's something good to keep in mind. It might also help you as a beginner to put the proportions in the right way. Let's sketch one thing quickly. For example, I'm gonna make another side view. I like to start by putting the ground line. I'm putting the proportions like this. It's more or less like 3 wheels in between. And by the way, if you are struggling with the very basics of car design sketching, you can check out my online course at bertkaplan.com. There I cover the most important things such as proportions and perspective for the car design sketching. So I put the wheels, and now, for example, I'm just putting this line kind of to show me this will be my shoulder line, for example. And then we're gonna have a greenhouse, like the window area line, and then this will be my roof line. So I put some very, very light lines just to mark as my proportional base. So I want to make some kind of like a hatchback in this time. So let's say this will be the rear of the car going up like this, maybe a bit higher for an hatchback. And the A-pillar will go a little bit forward part of the car. I mean, that's not the tip, that's not the point of this video, but I'm just also showing you how I sketch, how I put proportions correctly. So this is my overall silhouette of the car, let's say, without putting much design elements. It's only the proportions. Now when it's time to put the design elements, of course it depends on what type of results you want to get. But let's say I will go with something like Volkswagen or Audi, like more flat lines. And they are actually great examples of this connecting lines, continuity between the lines. So let's say I'm gonna have a shoulder line here, but as I mentioned, it doesn't have to be always continuous. So maybe I want a strong shoulder line here, and then it disappears. But then when I want to put another line on the front, I want to keep like a similar line, like imaginary line, and then here I have the front. So they are not totally connected, but my brain will connect them when I see the overall sketch. So another one can be, for example, from the rear bumper area. Rather than making this one angled and this one flat, I would like to have a little bit of continuity here. So I see that this line starts from the back, goes to the side, and then I can make it flat if this is what I want with this design. And of course, it doesn't mean like I have to now continue it until the end and connect it to something on the front. Design is flexible, as I said before, but it's always a good practice for beginners. I know I repeat it a couple times, but it's really worth to repeat because as a beginner, it's easy to forget this stuff. So another design element, maybe it looks a bit boring and I want to get a bit more today's design language, today's design trends. So I want to maybe make like a little bit shadow area here, and I want it to close like this on the front. Like this one at the moment is not connected to anything, which is fine. But maybe I can somehow see if I can connect it to something. It's a little bit pushing too much, but maybe it can connect something here to create my like a diffuser area, like this graphical element on the back. So now we have another connection for another line. Then I have my, for example, the DLO area. I don't know yet the design, maybe something like that it will be, very simple. Similar thing we can do on the front, like we don't know the design yet, what will happen on the front, because the side view sketch is more for finding the theme, the form, the design language on the side. But still, as we have this line here, maybe it can be somehow like a detail of the bumper there, and this way it will have like a strong connection. The ground line now needs to go a little bit lower. It's another tip actually, like it's the main idea of this video is having this connected lines, but I also have to mention the other things I see while sketching. For example, the ground is never like one straight line. It has to have a little bit more thickness to show the shadow of the car, because we never look at from the exact ground level. So don't forget to put on your sketches some shadows. And again, this and more stuff you can find on my online course. So now I can make the wheels a little bit thicker, and I can add some more details to them. I like putting these triangles because it shows that it's not like empty lines, but also it doesn't take a lot of time to make them. Here we go. And I will make the silhouette of the car also a little bit thicker. And already, like without putting any details or shadows or anything, it's already quite decent sketch, I would say. Because first of all, the proportions are correct. It's like a low hatchback. It's not like it's a bit like longer on the side, but it's not super tall. So it gives like a sporty feeling. And also the line quality, line weight. For a quick sketch, I think it's on point. And this continuous lines definitely help. Like these connections between the lines, even if they are not super strongly connected each point, it definitely gives this idea of holistic design approach. I can add some more details. And from now on, like developing the sketch further is way easier to put like graphical elements or the details. And it's enough to show my point, I hope, about the connecting lines. Same thing you can do also on perspective sketches. It doesn't have to be a side view. For example, here I did like a sketch, and my lines, as you see, this one goes to the back and then somehow touching to this point. I have this front line continuously going up here, or another one while sketching. These are like very rough sketches, but here I can have like a front character line somehow, like maybe there will be a graphical element, maybe air intake or I don't know what, maybe just like a surface change corner, and it's continuous to the side. Or like this wavy line I have on the front can be continuing to the side, so it gives like this approach that lines are following each other, they have the same type of approach, and I think I repeated it enough. As I said at the beginning of the video, it's not like a rule that you have to follow every single time while sketching, but it's also useful to keep in mind for creating this holistic approach for the cars. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next time.